Hola, this is Chris Cartier. I just got out of the shower, but I wanted to show you a setup I'm working on right now. Now, of course, as many of you might know, that when I work on a blaster, a new one, okay, that I need special specifications on, I tend to make like what I call a Frameout. This was originally done on a lot of like the pistols and rifles I used to work on, where I just have to shoot that wall. It's just the American way. Sorry. Frameout, that when I'm working on something, you know, I want to make sure that everything fits together, and I want to make sure that everything works good. Now, this is the Frameout for the next R-Spec Retaliator. It's going to be called the Stage 2 Retaliator. It is not more powerful. It is not more anything, except for the fact that it has a Stage 2 Orange Mod Works kit on it with a Stage 3 muzzle on it. Now, this is something you want to do when you're fitting your parts together, especially when you're doing something really custom like I'm going to show you. Okay, so there is the frame right there. Let's push this back a bit. There we go. Alright, so this is a mothballed Retaliator shell. Okay, and first thing you want to do, of course, is take your plunger tube. Now, this plunger tube is fit with an Explorer piston with some Teflon tape, and you see that this is really thin up here and it's fatter down there. It also has a piece of soft Velcro down here. Velcro is really good for spacer materials on Nerf blasters. It has give, so it's not going to like break anything, but at the same time it puts tension on things. It's really nice. This is in a place where it's never going to really hit anything that's moving or sliding, and it will move this plunger a little bit forward and back as you want, but it holds it up against here, I'll just do it down here. It holds it up against this bar over here. It makes it so the plunger tube is real tight. It also makes it so make sure that this plunger is all the way up into the trigger catch, and in a minute you're going to see why you want that. Okay, so there's your plunger tube. You want to take your bolt sled. This is an Orange Mod Works aluminum bolt sled from a recon kit, and if you see that this is thinner up here than this fatter back here, you want to give it a little bit of, not too much, it's cast metal, so you just want to bend it just a little bit, He-Man it just a little bit, until you pull out a caliper, and this is the same as this. I did this on the R-Spec, where I actually got these two really close, and actually went out a little farther too far here, so I actually filed these down so that it would fit really tight. This is that kind of quality of a build that I do. This is not typically what I sell to people, because it takes a lot of time, and most professional Nerf modders are do-it-yourselfers. So you want to take that, you want to lock it up all the way back there. Then you want to take your plunger tube. You'll notice this one I don't have to lift it above the rim, because the rim is already taken down by filing this down to white, orange, white, and orange, and then putting it as so, because this is how you do an Explorer piston. You just put it in there, put it all the way forward, okay, and you want to push it in. Also, I don't have the Teflon seal trick on here right now because I'm just prototyping it pretty much. You put it in there and make sure that this is past where the trigger catch goes. Now, why are we doing all this trouble? This is why. Take a really good look at it. This is the rainbow trigger catch that I've been talking about. It's only very slight. It's just a little bit over here. It's just made so that when the plunger goes up, it matches the diameter of that. See? So that it doesn't scuff it on the way out, and it always makes it so it doesn't mess with the plunger at all. This is really important for high-end blasters. Now, if you've got your normal Orange Mod Works black tactical type springs, I mean, even if you throw like a Stampede spring in there or something, okay, fine. You don't need to do this. But on this one, you do. I made it so it has the most contact area down here instead of having this little tab. But then when you put it up, it goes through much better. Now, this needed several revisions on it. Number one, you needed to file this, all the way down to here where your spring joint is. Okay, I want to get as much close-up as I can to show this to you guys. Another is that this is over here. The other thing is that this is actually not really sharp. It's sharp on this back end, but not here. It's a little more broader, so it doesn't clip this on the end, and it also doesn't file it. So this all had to be machined over here, and then this is machined over here, and this is machined. But look at the bottom end. You can see I've taken about a 1/16 of an off of this. Now, if you take a normal Orange Mod Works aluminum trigger catch, and you file about 32nd off, just like that, perfectly flat. And I'll show you in a minute why this part isn't filed, but these two are. Then it will make it so that this dives better and it has much more of a grab on your plunger. It makes it so it's a lot more reliable of a blaster, and it also makes it so that this part that catches into the plunger goes as far down as humanly possible. Okay, so let me put this in, show you. Okay. So when you're working with something like this, where you really want to be sure what is it doing, you really want to lay out your parts just like this, and you want to make sure you're cool. Okay, so now the part where I step, take a good look. Take a good look. Oh wait, where are we? All right. See that? See if I can get this in better. Ah, there we are. This is where the trigger hits this. Boom, boom, boom. I have this far enough away so that this doesn't dive. But it makes it so, well, you got all this play on your trigger, so why not make it so it dives down farther? Well, you don't want it to dive down too far or else this isn't going to catch. But if this is raised up a little, fine. So you don't want to do this on a normal trigger catch where it's down a whole 1/16, or else it may not engage your plunger. But on this one, because I have this all filed as a rainbow up there, yeah, you do. And you got to make up for that lost distance you have up there. So then, when it goes, there it is. And I'm holding this down pretty tight. There you go. There it is. So that, see? So there you are. There's your plunger. There's your plunger tube. There's your trigger shoe, right there. Oh, sorry, trigger catch. Ah, damn. It's so hard when you've been gunsmithing for years and all of a sudden you're using a new terminology. I have so many terminology problems. As you can see, the O-ring barely misses the back there. It barely misses, but it gives it more clearance to allow to use this plunger, and that's what you got to do on an Explorer piston. So then you fire it, right? Fire it. Boom. Ah, see that roundness right there? You see that? Where it just makes it, I'll show it again. It makes it so it releases perfectly to the diameter. Boom, and then boom, and then you're back to position 1 right there. See? So I spend a lot of time when I design a unique blaster. Now anybody can take an Orange Mod Works kit, an Unleash kit, throw a 5 kilogram spring in there, and you're great. But what really sets apart the mice from the men are the people that will lay out their shell and will lay out all the parts and see what it does. Another thing I noticed, although I don't have one in here right now, is this catch right here, okay, this lockup, makes it so this frame doesn't bounce around as much. This bolt sled doesn't bounce around as much, and it supports this so it doesn't slide back when you're firing. So if you lose your mid-prime lock, and by the way, this is where your mid-prime lock would be. It would be sticking up as so. You don't need it anymore. And then all you do is you take your trigger and you break off the post that goes into there, and you just make it so it's by itself. I really like this because it really gives that trigger a lot more work, a lot more room to move this up. Also, it increases the clearance of this. There were 2 reasons I made a rainbow trigger catch. Number 1 was to give it more clearance, okay, so that if I use bigger springs, it wouldn't hit it on the way back in. And number 2 is so so it would have much more of a lockup on the piston. So here it is. That's the this is the prototype for the stage 2 R-Spec right here. As you can see, not much different from the stage 1 as of yet. The biggest difference will be this rainbow catch back here, and it will be, and also the way that the piston is raised up rather than dive. See, mine is actually made so there's a piece of Velcro down here, right here, so that the whole thing dives. Well, this time we're going to put it over here because we have a bore. We have a seal breech. So if we have a seal breech and it's going straight out, I don't really have to worry about the position of this. The reason why it was put originally on the R-Spec here was because it tended to dive it for some reason. It tended to dive the darts. So I made it so that this would bob the whole thing up, and it worked. But it also raised this. It made a really nice lock up here. So it made it so that this was higher, so that this would push this, but yet it's Velcro, so it has give to it. So anyway, this is Chris Cartea, signing off, and just remember that my blasters, may it be, unless it's a conventional mod, like, okay Chris, I want a Recon with a stage 1 and stage 2 unleash kit on it, or even then, I pull a piece together and I file like the front so the darts can go in, because our standard one, the darts don't go in the magazine very well, because the bolt is too far, this filing is too far out. Or just something standard like a masker kit, a respring, something like that. Okay, I'll just respring and do that. But when I'm talking a real involved project, no. You always got to... The biggest thing about it, and this is for Warren Yee too, I want you to hear this one, is planning. Take it apart, see what it is. Don't just throw it together the same day. Plan it. Will it work? Will it won't? And file down everything and fit everything so that it works perfectly. Well, thanks for playing, folks. See you later. May the force be with you. Or the farce if you're Mel Brooks. Bye.